Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother Canada, and today we are going to be talking about the third eviction. We had a shocking eviction last week which saw Donna backdoored, and it looks like Dennis is about to get backdoored in this very episode. I have been assured that this season gets even crazier, and the fact that it's crazy at this point makes me believe that this season is going to get absolutely insane. And if you guys aren't watching, you better start. So the link is in the description to watch, so make sure you are watching. It is a little bit of a finicky website. Trust me, just try it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You'll get to know everyone, and then you'll be rooting for your favorites to either stay or your least favorites to go home. I know I am at this point in the competition, but we are going to get into it. If you are liking the episode, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And we're on our way to 900. That's all I can say. 900 is a crazy number, and then it'll be on our way to 1,000. I can't believe that we're hitting these goals, but you guys are absolutely smashing it. So, without much further ado, let's get on with the video, shall we? In the aftermath of Dennis being put up for eviction against Elijah, yeah, things are not good in the house at the moment, I gotta say. Vivek has fucked his game up, I personally think. Dennis's game is all but over, and I think Dennis is now on a warpath to ruin as much as he possibly can before he leaves the house. He knows he's going home. There's no way he's not going home. So, yeah, it's uncomfortable because Dennis is a great player in this game, and the fact that he's been taken out by someone who's so shit at the game like Vivek, it's frustrating because Vivek was trying to defend himself, going, it's the right game, it's the right move for my game, and Dennis was like, I saved you from eviction last week. I took you off of that block when you were all but going home, and how do you repay me? You put me up and forced me out the door. I thought, good on you, Dennis. Good on you, because this man is a fucking snake. Nothing else to say about him, but other than he's a snake. It's disgusting, I personally think. The fact that Dennis has been so supportive of Vivek when everybody in the house hates him. Everyone in the house wants him out. And Dennis is the only person that stood by him and had the power to pull him off of the block. Every single other person in that challenge would have kept him up there. Yeah, it's interesting. And then Dennis was like, don't let the door hit you on the way out because you'll be following me. He gave a very chilling warning to Vivek. And I don't think Vivek really truly understands how much he's fucked his game up. Because other people are going to see, oh, this guy put up his best friend or his best friend on the block to go for eviction. What's he going to do to me, who, like, he doesn't particularly, who's not as close to him? He's going to want me out, so I've got to get him out. That's the vibe. Vivek, I don't think you've understood how much of a shit situation you're in, and the fact that you sided with Anthony over Dennis when Dennis was the person keeping you in the game. That's crazy, personally, because also there's a running theme of every single person who's brought up Anthony's name as a person to go home. Janine, Donna, now Dennis. They're all being sent home. It's like there's a cult of Anthony being erected in this house, and it's really getting uncomfortable to watch. Like, when he first came in, I was like, yes, I'm Team Anthony. But he's just getting a little bit too big for his boots. He's too smug, and it's starting to really grind on my gears. And then Kayla was just directly lying to Dennis's face, being like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. I'm really sorry, I didn't know anything. But Dennis is right. Nobody wins if Dougie's still in the game. If Dougie's in the game, he's going to engineer everybody to go home before him. Unless there is a massive uprising, which Dennis was willing to lead, Anthony's going to stay in the game until the very end. And he could potentially win it if the jury's on his side. Yeah, it gets rough when it's like this, innit? It gets really rough because you just think, actually, like Dennis said, I haven't even made jury. I've been waiting for this for 10 years, And I didn't even make jury. Third out. That sucks. But obviously, there could be a plot to save him. Who knows? Who knows? It's not fucking likely, though. Now, we don't often get a lot of these moments in Big Brother Canada, Big Brother US, but we did get a really lovely moment between, I think it was Vivek and Tola. I think it was those two, in which Tola was explaining sort of his upbringing, how he was born in Thailand, how, I could be 100% wrong, but how he escaped Cambodia and came to Canada. I think that's what I got from the conversation. I didn't write like a massive amount of information on it, but yeah, it was interesting to listen to. Apparently he was born in a refugee camp and he's been back to visit, and it just is lovely and heartwarming. And Tola's one of these people that, like, when I find out more about him, I'm always like, oh, he's so lovely. But then whenever I see him in the game, I'm just not that big a fan of him. I think that's probably because he just doesn't get a lot of screen time, and so there are other people who are getting more favourable edits, and he's just kind of there. Like, there's been 2 weeks in a row where he's been someone that people have wanted to put up, and surprisingly, he's not gotten any screen time to show why that is. Probably because, like, he's never touched the block, so there's been no reason to have him, like, give him a lot of screen time. But yeah, I would like more screen time for Tola. Justice for him, please. So there was a challenge which yielded a takeaway reward, and they had to keep an egg on a spoon for 30 minutes, and they basically just had to do that for 30 minutes. Now, I'm not entirely sure of the rules, but everyone seemed to be moving around a lot, and I thought, why not just sit down with it? Was that a rule that you weren't allowed to sit down? Because everyone just kept on, like, walking around with it, and I was like, surely you just sit down, right? Is that not smart? Is that not smart? Avery was trying to make food with it in her hand, and she ended up dropping it. She was a nightmare. Elijah dropped it as well, and so did Dougie. But everybody else in the house managed to keep it on the spoon for 30 minutes, and they ended up winning a takeaway of their choice. I actually don't know what they got. I don't think they gave the name on screen, but it was a cool challenge. It gave them something to do, and it was like a nice little 5-minute segment. Not like the UK version where they spend like 10-15 minutes on like a task sometimes. But yeah, it was cute, and I enjoyed it. Now, this is where things got very interesting, because there began to emerge a plot to keep Dennis in the house. Now, if I was a game player in the house and I was looking at it this way, Elijah has touched the block twice, has not had enough support to get him out of the house, or he's had enough support to keep him in the house. He's a dangerous person, I feel like. Pawns are always dangerous. The people that other people view as someone that they can just use because no one wants to get rid of them, they're dangerous because no one wants to get rid of them. However, Dennis has a lot more to offer in the game. He's got strategy. He's got gameplay. He is a valuable asset and ally in your game. Elijah, I don't think so. I don't think he's as useful, I don't think, in the nicest way possible. So he was talking to Bailey Dennis, right? And Bailey was apologizing to him, being like, I didn't know that you were going to get put up. I'm really, really sorry. I did not want this to happen to you. And then they were talking about campaigning as someone to take down Dougie. And he seems to have Bailey on side, which I think is a smart place to start, because then that will creep back to the girls, etc, etc, etc. He only needs... So there's 12 people currently in the house. 3 of them cannot vote, so that's 9 people. He only needs 5 votes to stay. He's got Todd. Todd will definitely back him. He's got Bailey. And he just needs 3 more votes, which could be V, Lexus, Avery. No, not Lexus, Kayla. Because Lexus isn't technically part of that group at the moment. But I'll get onto that in a minute. So there's a pot to keep him in there. But obviously, Dennis knows that he can't go in there with a plan to get rid of Dougie. So what he does instead is he goes to the group and goes, guys, if you save me, I will be an ally to you, and I will be willing to make the big moves in order to get other people out of the house. The people I'm looking to target are Vivek, and the showmans, which is Matt and Lexus at the moment. It's a smart plan, hiding your true intentions to try and get them on side, and it really did get them thinking, actually, this could be a very, very useful asset to us, because he wants to get rid of Vivek, we want to get rid of Vivek. He wants to get rid of Lexus and Matt, we want to get rid of Lexus and Matt. This is an opportunity to keep him in the game and make sure that we prolong our game by having someone that's taking pot shots instead of us. It's just logic. Do you know what I mean? It just makes sense. And I think they are being very naive and silly to not take him up on this offer. A lot of strong players are going home, and the weak players are continuing to be in the game. The fact that Vivek won this week's Head of Household is shocking to say the least, but it proves that he's at least somewhat of a competitor. Whereas you've got other people in the house, Lexus, Elijah, Matt, who are just coasting. They're just going on by. Just their days happening, and they are just going on by. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one when it comes to the voting, and I genuinely didn't know which way it was going to go, because obviously, like I said, there were roughly 5 votes to save Dennis and not enough to save Elijah. So technically, could have gone either way. But we are going to move on to voting time now, and like I said, voting time was very, very interesting. And when you've got these big plots and these big ploys and these big plans, it becomes very apparent which way everyone's going to lean when the first person in a plan gives their vote. So obviously Matt voted for Dennis, Tola voted for Dennis, and then Bailey walks in and also votes Dennis as well, meaning that pretty much he's going to go home. There's no way he's going to survive this. Lexus also voted for Dennis. Kayla also voted for Dennis. Dougie also voted for Dennis. Avery also voted for Dennis. V also voted for Dennis. Todd also voted for Dennis. So, with a vote of 9-0, Dennis is the third person to be evicted from the Big Brother Canada house. And I gotta say, I'm absolutely gutted, because it really frustrates me when the show does it like this, and they really sort of, they have someone who's like 100% going to go home, and then they spend the episode leading you to believe they're not going to go home, and then they go home. I'm just like, what's the point in that? Do you know what I mean? Because I want to know how they went from being like, yeah, we should save Dennis, to we're going to vote against him. What happened? I feel like we're missing a scene. We're missing a conversation with Dougie where he's manipulated everyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we doing that? Why is that? Why have we got rid of Dennis? What was your rationale behind this? I want people to explain. I want to know, because for me, it's just a big disappointment. I didn't even think I'd like him that much when he came in. Like, I can't even remember what I wrote on his first episode, but I just remember being like, oh, I mean, he's all right. I don't really care for him that much. But like, it just really did bug me that they were so sort of, yeah, what did I write? Here we go. Dennis, quirky fan, wants to be a villain. I don't think he was a villain. If anything, he was the hero I was rooting for. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gutted because there's so many people in the house that I just don't care for. And then there's him. Oh, God, I'm so disappointed. I'm so bitterly disappointed. But interestingly, he thinks that Tola's going to win. Wasn't he wanting Tola out? Or was I making that up? I don't know. Also, Arissa seems to be really on Dennis's side when she was doing the exit interview. I was a little bit surprised because she was like, we were so gutted to see you put up and stabbed in the back by your best friend. And then, I'm sorry, but they do these messages where they're like, oh, sorry, we had to get rid of you, soz. And Dougie's message was a real dickhead message. I really didn't like it. He was like, oh, first, Jeanette said my name. Then, Donna said my name. And then, you said my name. Are you seeing a trend here? I'm bringing out the red flag from from Married at First Sight. Oh God, I really am not on. I'm not on Anthony's side at all anymore. I'm praying for his downfall immediately. But yeah, on the whole, this was a very, very interesting, climactic eviction. But we're not finished yet because we've still got to talk about the HOH. And I gotta say, this HOH was surprising. So it was a trivia challenge. The trivia was based on the trophy room in the house. There's loads of different trophies for different achievements and like challenge wins and things like that from BB Canada history. They basically had to answer true or false based on the statements that Arissa gave them, and Elijah ended up winning. Now, Avery, Todd, Anthony were out in the first round, then Bailey was out on the third question, Lexus, Kayla, Todd, and Matt were out on the fourth question, and V ended up, I think she threw the last question because I don't think she wanted to be HOH again, but that means Elijah is now in charge. Now, Elijah said earlier on this week that if he gets HOH, Vivek is touching the block. So Vivek could be going home this week. And honestly, I hope he does. Because I can't have someone like him in the game anymore. I can't have a backstabber. Like, I'm fine with you backstabbing. But not when this person has literally just saved you. I'm fine with backstabbing your friends. Well, obviously I'm not in real life. But in the game, absolutely fine with it. But when they've just saved you the week before... dickhead move, honestly, absolute dickhead move, because this has kind of sealed your deal. You're going home, and I hope you enjoy not making it to jury. So this was Big Brother Canada, end of week 3/4, because obviously it's technically week 4, but yeah, the third eviction, let's just put it that way. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to keep on ranting. I will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that YouTube stuff. We're on our way to 900, don't forget. And I will see you guys later. So, without much further ado, keep on ranting. See you later. Bye now.